All right, so the question you want to know: what is my foundation shade? Okay, I think I can help you figure that out. Not think, I know. I've become like a little master at this, and I'm very proud of it, because there are people from different shade ranges, and there are people who are like, yeah, I think I'm this, or there are people who don't absolutely know anything about how to do it. And I believe this right here is going to be a game changer for everyone who has a question about it. And again, take what applies to you, use the tips and tricks. I am not the only method that you can use. Do your research, test it out. That is my number one thing. Test, 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 test. Because every brand is different. And just because you're this shade in this brand doesn't mean you're going to be this shade in the other. So I always test. Test, test, test. Don't be afraid to go in and be like, hey, I need help. This is what I think I am. Can you help me? And don't be afraid to be like, hey, I don't like that shade. Let's try a different one. The world is yours when you're in the beauty store, unless there are no testers, but I'll tell you a hack for that too. I have my notes, but I pretty much can go off the head with this because I do this pretty much all day at work when customers come in. But watch the undertone video, and if you watch that, you know that when we are looking, we're looking for 3 main undertones. Can somebody tell me which ones they are? Okay, well, they are cool, warm, and neutral. Cool, warm, and neutral. If you got that, give yourself a little pat on the back. But anywho, those are the 3 main ones. So you need to know that before you go in and try anything. The dryers. So you need to know that before you go in and try anything. If you are a cool tone, again, keyword C, cool. Olivey. I mean, not olivey. Olive is like a different. We're not gonna get into olive. But yeah, I'm looking at my notes. So the best way to do it is to swatch out. I'm going to swatch out a couple of things. These are my own personal things. So most of them are warm tones, but I'll show you how even if you pick warm tones, you still have to narrow it down to which one is your shade at the moment. So again, if you watch the video, you know that we must swatch. You can swatch wherever you want to between here and here. To be honest, it is up to you. I like to swatch a little bit of both because I want to kind of bring this into here, but not like my chest is super light. I'm not going to put that up here, and we're not going to do all that. So we're going to find a happy medium in between the two. I'll do it on this side. So I have a couple of different shades, and it doesn't matter if it's concealer or foundation. I have a mixture of both here. 4 different shades, I believe. One of these shades, y'all gonna be like, honey, but guess what? I picked it out when it was summer. And that's a different thing too. You are going to need, listen up, put your ear close to the, put it close. You're going to need more than 1 shade per year. Now, I'll make a video on how to finesse things, but don't think that you're just gonna get 1 shade and you're gonna be that whole shade year round. You're not. Summer comes, spring comes, winter, fall, whatever order you want to put it in, you know what I mean? So you are going to need a different shade I'm not gonna say per season. I like to keep a summer shade and a winter shade. And then I either mix the 2 to get those in between, or whatever. Some people have to mix 2 regardless to get that perfect shade. But we don't want to break the bank. Unless you get drugstore, then you can mix the 2. If you get prestige, which is like your top dollar brands and all that, then of course it can get a little bit pricey. But we'll go into that. I'll have a finesse the system video. These are my products. So again, my products, I put them on my face however I want to. But if you are dealing with clients, do not do this. Don't. Okay. So first up is the Fenty Beauty Eavesdrops. This is like a skin tint. Of Of course, it's not gonna come up super pigmented because it is a skin tint. Let me make sure that I am in focus, y'all. All right. So again, this is mine. And y'all gonna be like, baby, what shade was she? Hold on, this is just, let's do this. Y'all, I used to be chocolate. Can y'all see that? And I go down my neck. So you see it may disappear in between. And this is a skin tint. So of course it's going to blur in more or like blend in more. It's supposed to be more skin light. But you can see that shade. All right, then I'm going in with the Naturalistas. That was shade 21 in the skin tint Fenty. Y'all gonna be looking a little ugly. Always shake. Always shake. Let me put the cap back on. Shake it some more. Always shake it because it sits there. Just think of when you mix things up, oil, water, The longer it sits, the heavier things sink to the bottom. So that's the same thing with skincare and all that good stuff. So you always want to shake any product that you have so that it can be its most even. I'm using a different finger, okay? See, if you can see, it came out a little wet. So that's why I was like, shake it up. All right, that's that shade. I'm coming beside it with this shade. Okay. That is in shade 18G from Naturalistas. When I tell you I love that, that is like freaking, I like skin finish type things. I'm really into skin now. I didn't used to be. Okay, now this is concealer. It's thicker than those two. This is Milani Perfect Conceal. It's Warm Tan 160. And you're like, why do you have that? But I'll show you how it looks different on different parts of your body. So those are the 3 shades so far. And then I have my other favorite concealer is the Juvia's Place. So I have that. And that's in 10. So just to show you how these shades look different. And I know y'all like, where did the Fenty go? Where did the Fenty go? Okay. But if you can see. Now you see all of those do have a warmer tone in them. You can see golden, you can see yellowish, you can see a little reddish, I guess, if you want to say that. You can see all those tones in there. This is to show you that yes, I may be warm, but I need to try out the shades because they still can come out. Now, if you're looking too golden or too yellow, if you're too yellow, then it means that's just too yellow for you down here. But I'll show you where to work up there. You see this here, it's not a super horrible match because it kind of hits up in these shades up here. This is definitely too light for my overall face because it's not going to blend in with my chest. And I'll take a piece of each. Yeah, I'm looking in this mirror. Take a piece of each and blend it right here to show you the difference too. See, it looks way different. On my chest, and this that Fenty is. Now you really can see the Fenty. It looks different from my chest to my face. So that's why I try to do a little bit of both. Okay, so if I was looking off of this, I would more so go right here with this one. It's not too light, not too dark. I know y'all like the Fenty can to blend in, but when I get up to here, to this part of my face, we got to think about my whole face, okay? When I get up to here, that Fenty, it's gonna look super dark. See how dark that looks up there? We don't want that. Versus the Danessa, that's the Danessa. This is the Milani. I'm getting stuff everywhere, y'all. But I'm just doing this just to show y'all, like, for real, you have to go through. Okay? So those are the shades. So again, this is my best match. Okay? It's going to cover up those darker spots, but it's not going to be too dark when we come to areas like this. Okay? Now, if we want to be real technical and go ahead and pick out a concealer shade going between these two, you're like, it's way too light. But your concealer, you always want your concealer to be 2 shades, 1 to 2 shades lighter than you. You don't want it to be the same shade as you. Hold on, let me fix my camera. You do not want your concealer shade to be the same shade as you unless you're going for like a everyday look, which I will do it. I'll have a video on everyday look as well. But you always want to go at least 1 to 2, depending on if you want dramatic or if you like, I want to look light and bright up under there. Then that's what you do. Okay. So this coming up under here, I'm gonna come right here. It's okay. This is my skin tone right here. Remember, if it's an everyday look, we're just gonna put this. It's brighter than my skin tone. It's not too bright, but it's a little bright. That's gonna wake me up, okay? It's gonna wake me up. Now, if we want to go lighter, if you're like, let me go lighter, then we have, well, they're about the same shade. Yeah, they're about the same shade. Different brand. That goes to show you different brands. Now, this one just a little bit darker than that. So this could be your everyday. This could be your lighter. You can mix the two. It's up to you. But when you're going for a concealer shade, that's what you want to look for. Either almost your shade or a little bit lighter than your shade, okay? And I'm going to leave these because I'm going to do a video outside of how everything looks a little bit different when you go outside. Now, that's concealer. Concealer is always 1 to 2 shades lighter. When it comes to... I ain't gonna get into that. We'll have another video on bronzing and contouring. And I know y'all like, she see any videos, but it's easier for you to get it into chunks versus like, oh, let me put a whole 5-hour video. No, baby, you will be overwhelmed. So I like to keep it in chunks. Trust me. You'll thank me later. If you want to watch all the videos as they come out, that's anticipation. Or if you just like, hey, I need to know now, then that means you need to get a course. Okay? I do one-on-one courses. I do focus courses, all that. Not trying to plug that in there, but a lot of people like to know, and a lot of people don't teach in-depth these type of things. But you can learn these type of things. I'll link everything below. If you want to do something like, let me just figure out my shade. If you're in my city, Nashville, Tennessee, I do shade matching, or I can do it over virtual. So you'd be like, what shade? And I can kind of tell you from there. Again, it's within my expertise, within what I think. You always have the power to do something different or to go and please fact check, okay? Because sometimes I'm wrong. I ain't scared to say I'm wrong. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes you like it a different way and I don't see that vision, but I got to brag on myself. I usually get it right. And I also have some videos where I've shade matched people on my Instagram as well. So if you're like, let me see it, go to The Natural Things or Brisha Monet on Instagram, and I have videos up of that process. Because I know how, like, overwhelming it could get to be in a store and you're like, it's so many brands, I don't even know where to start. I got you. go in and at least know your undertone and know what it should and shouldn't look like. So every day should look like this. This could be every day too once you buffer it out. Every day should look something like this. This is too dark. These two are too light. Okay. This one could kind of mix up a little bit, but you see that this one is kind of a combination of this and this. Like a lot goes into it. But yeah, you can visibly see what's good for you, what's not good for you. Okay. Don't be afraid to test out those shades. Take you some alcohol and some little sponges if you like. I'm a germaphobe. Make sure you get the brands that have the punch. Not the punch, the little squeeze tops or something like that. That way, you know, you don't have to dip into it. Brands like, what's that brand? Too Faced. They have a little doe foot like this. Too Faced has, theirs look like gigantic concealers. So it has something like this. You don't want to like shade match with that because who knows what these people be doing. They be doing some weird stuff. But try to find the brands that have more of a squeeze top or a pump on them as such. Some drugstore brands do not have it. Drugstore or what we call within ULTA, those are mass brands. So go in looking for mass brands if you want affordable. They're on a different side of the store. You'll go in on one side, however which way it's set up. I'm gonna make a video. No, you're like, she can make a video. But like for real, like these are things that people want to know. So I'm gonna make a video on it. And it's gonna help somebody. It may be you. But anywho, okay. But anywho, mass is your affordable. It's the Milani. It's the Juvia's Place. It's the Elf, the NYX. Those, some of those do have testers. Some of those don't have testers. So don't be alarmed if you go in and you're like, I want that, but I can't. I don't know which one. With those, the hack to that is buy two. Which ones? That's where you narrow it down to your skin tone or your undertone, and then you pick two that you think will go. Excuse me. You pick two that you think may be your shade. They're so cheap that you can buy two. They're like $8, $9, $10 sometimes. So you really get two for the price of one when you're going versus Prestige, which is your Fenty Beauty, your Danessa Myricks, and all that. Keeping yeah, who else is over there? Urban Decay and stuff like that, but we're not going into that. So when you're in mass or drugstore, you want to try to pick two that are more towards your shade range, and then you either can mix them to make your perfect, or you can just take it back. It's okay, take it back. If you don't need it, take it back. They're going to take it. And it sadly goes into a bucket where we have to dispose of it if you used it. But feel free to take it back. It doesn't matter. And I'm really doing this video like this. But yeah, again, your shade changes with the season. And you're going to need more than one shade. So if you're beginner, I suggest you start with your drugstore. Unless you're like, I'm gonna go in and get matched for my right shade. If you don't know, start small. Start with drugstore mask. When I tell you, those are some of my favorite brands. Milani is super good. Juvia's Place is good. I love their concealers and their eyeshadows and stuff. But Maybelline Fit Me. If you just don't know, when I tell you Maybelline is the go-to in the OG. Maybelline, L'Oreal, yeah, those are go-tos. So your shade is going to change. So don't be like, oh, I had this shade 2 months ago and I'm a different shade. Something's wrong with it. No, you either changed colors with the season or who knows, you know. And then sometimes if you let them sit for a while, they oxidize. Shake them up and make sure it's not too old. Don't let your makeup get too old. But I understand if you're like, I paid my money for this, I'm going to use it, but be very cautious too. Because I'm going to use mine until it's gone. Y'all see all this stuff I be having, I'm going to use it. Yeah, like I said, you may have to mix. That's just what it is. If you don't want to mix, watch my video of how to finesse. That may be coming next. Don't know when it's coming. I'll show you how to finesse and not have to use so many different shades. Yeah, but to wrap it up, your foundation shade, to find your foundation shade, your concealer shade, test it out here, whatever you want it closest to be. That's your whatever you want. But I like to do a little bit of both, you know. But it's up to you. Foundation should match as close as it can. Not, it should definitely match. It should match as close as it can to your skin tone. That's going to give you a clean blank slate for your whole face. Concealer, 1 to 2 shades lighter. 1 to 2, depending on if you want a natural look or you want a kind of jazzed up look. Yeah, that's about it, I think. If y'all have any questions, drop them below. Oh, one more thing. Some people are like, what's the difference between foundation and concealer? Foundation is just a thinner version of concealer. Concealer is a thicker version of foundation. It's supposed to be thicker. It's supposed to have more coverage. So if you want to go the cheaper route, one of the hacks, I'm going to give it to you already before we get to the other video, is to use concealer. Like if I wanted to, I could use this. You saw me put it right here and it was a good match for my skin. I could use this over my entire face if I wanted to. So if you're like, I don't feel like buying no big foundation thing, especially if I know I'm going to change, get a good concealer and you can put it all over your face. It's the same thing. It's going to be less. You may not have more of it, but it's going to be less, and you could get those too if you need to, if that makes you feel a little bit better. But it's the same thing, just denser packed in more coverage. Okay. But yeah, drop questions below. Again, if you need a class in depth, if you're like, you still talking and I don't know what you're talking about, hit me up. More than happy to do a class with you. Yeah, but I hope this helped. I know this helped. I'm gonna stop rambling because y'all gotta go, I gotta go. But yeah, everything's linked below. See y'all later. Alright, this is a video of me outside with it on. As you can see, too dark. I could potentially use that. Just the different shades. I can use this on my whole skin. This is 1 to 2 shades lighter. But yeah, you see how it's different in different lighting. Yeah.